Hey everyone, this is Alice Boll from ScrapHappy membership group, and we're here today for a special session of Scrap Smarter. Now, Scrap Smarter is a live session where we actually dig into some kind of skill that comes in handy for our scrapbooking, and we just want to make our scrapbooking as good as it can be. And I think that one of the things that has kept me scrapbooking for the last 20 years, like I'm going on 20 years, my son turns 20 next month. That means I will have been a scrapbooker for 20 years. And one of those things that's kept it so fresh is by always learning something new. One of my big goals this year was to learn a little bit about digital scrapbooking. And I've stuck my toe into the water a couple times and I've quickly pulled it out and said, no, I just can't. And I've made all these excuses, but this year is the year of no excuses. And I am going to be bold. That's my one little word. And in saying that, I have downloaded Photoshop Elements and I am ready because today we're going to have Melissa showing us about photo editing, and then next month she is going to come back and show us a little bit about some digital scrapbooking. So welcome, Melissa. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks so much, Alice. I'm excited to be here. Alice, I'm so glad you've invited us because I think that these tech skills are really useful. I mean, of course, they're useful if you want to do digital scrapbooking, but if you've got photos that, you're a scrapbooker, you're going to need to edit and print photos and get that all organized. And it's going to be some really...
Mommy, can I have some food?
See, Emily, please, sweetie. Oh, sorry for the interruption. Yes. Oh, sweetie.
This is real life with kids, everybody, just so you know.
Oh my gosh, I've got them all organized with their morning tea and everything, but never mind. Anyway, back to where we were. So, basic photo editing is going to make your photos happier, it's going to make you happier, and it's going to make you feel better about your photos, whether you're scrapping them digitally or just with paper. So let us jump in. I wanted to ask you to start off with, how do you feel about your photos? Are you happy with them? Do you feel like you have any troubles getting them onto your computer, or how do you manage them? Are you all comfortable with getting your photos off your phone or your camera? So if you just want to type into the chat and let me know how you feel about that.
I can tell you that I personally have a bit of a photo disaster. I have a big mess, but I'm excited to hear your tips and tricks.
Okay, so the first thing we want to do when we are looking at editing our photos is, do we want to edit them on our computer or on our phone? And so there's lots of ways you can edit them on your phone and do all kinds of great creative things with all the apps that you have. But you can also get just as easy results these days with Photoshop Elements. And that's why I teach and love Photoshop Elements. We're going to talk about how you can turn your photos from just being happy snaps to being really a beautiful work of art. So if you just want to pop into the chat and let me know, do you get your photos off your phone and off your camera regularly? Okay, guys, I'm just going to have to pause for 1 minute because we've got a bit of a problem happening here. My plan is gone. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, so while we are waiting for Melissa, this is Life with Small Children. they cooperate until you until you're busy. So I'm seeing lots of comments that say that photo saving is good for me, says Sue. And let's see. Kathy says all her photos are saved to an external hard drive. And Kathy says that they're organized by event. Awesome. Christy says she has no problems getting the photos to the computer. I'm assuming there's something that goes along with that. Mary Beth says, I have Elements and I use it for the very basics. I hope to learn more. All of my photos go into Elements. So this is going to be excellent for you. And Claire says, I do not upload my photos regularly. Jody says that she tries to somewhat. So we've got a lot that are getting their photos from their cameras or from their phones, but not necessarily moving on to the next step.
Okay, so sorry about that, guys. Hopefully we're all set now. So when you first load Photoshop Elements, you get two options. You get your photo organizer and your editor. Now today we're mostly going to be working in the editor, but just as a sneak peek to help you guys, one great thing about the organizer is it's built in. It's just part of the software, is the one-off cost. You don't have to pay monthly like you do for Lightroom or anything. And it's a really helpful tool to actually manage all your photos. And I love it because it just automatically pulls all the photos off my phone, off my husband's phone, from wherever I have them on my computer, whether it's Dropbox, whether it's OneDrive, whether it's, iCloud. Wherever your photos are, Photoshop Elements can just help you manage them. And look, even as I'm just sharing now, I'll just quickly show you Photoshop Elements Organizer. It has just literally, as soon as I've opened it up, it's spotted that I have new photos and it's pulling them in as we speak. So that is just a little sneak peek. Now I've got lots of tutorials and information on my site and be more than happy to help you with that aspect. So what we're going to talk about today is troubleshooting some of the common problems that you might find with your photographs. And so one of the common problems we have, and Alice, I'll just get you to confirm you can see the cute photo of Matthew here on the screen share.
Yes, I can.
Awesome. So one of the common problems we have is we've got a great photo, but something is wrong with it. Where, scrapbookers, we love our photos. We can sometimes be a little bit, shall we say, fussy. So I've got this gorgeous photo of Matthew right here, and I love it. It's like one of the best photos I've taken of him this year. And so you probably can see here, maybe if you're depending on whether, if you're watching on your phone, you may not be able to see this, but on his face here, he's got a dirty mouth. Now, this is a typical one with children. They've got food on their face, their nose is runny, teenagers have pimples, or 36-year-old women have pimples. So if I'm going to print this photo or make it a feature photo on a layout, that's when I might choose to do a little something. So I'm going to show you the simple and easy solution to this problem. So this is one of the quickest and easiest photo edits you'll ever see. So we're in Photoshop Elements now, and at the top we have 3 different modes. We've got quick mode, guided mode, and expert mode. Strangely enough, we're starting in expert mode because even though it says expert, you don't have to be an expert to use it. So let's grab our brush over here. This brush is called the Spot Healing Tool. And it looks like a Band-Aid. And all I need to do is just draw over the space on his face where he has a dirty face. And that's it. It's done, fixed. Wasn't that easy? So when we're doing any photo edits, what I encourage you to do is to make sure you save your file. Today, I might think that I want to, edit this photo, but maybe in the future, there's a fashion to have, more realistic photos. I don't know. I might change my mind. So I always save them. Save as, and then we go ahead and save this file as a Photoshop document. And while I'm here, I'll explain what a Photoshop document is. A Photoshop document is just a file which can have layers in it. So we're in Photoshop Elements, and we are working with this photograph all on one layer at the moment, but if we wanted to get any more fancy, we can add layers, and that allows us to continue editing in the future. We can close a file, we can come back to it, we can do what we call non-destructive editing. So that means that we're able to edit our photo in a way that means we can reverse the changes. And then you always have your original. So I'm going to show you a little something else that is super common. That is your photos where you have very harsh lights, or like light and dark. So I had some of you scrapbookers send me some photos that needed some help, and I'm going to be working with those. So these are photos. Here we go. Here's our original. These are photos from Jackie, and she sent them in to me and said, "Can you help me edit them?" And I'm like, "Sure." This is a perfect example. Now, a lot of people at this time of year probably have a lot of these kind of photos where it was dark and you stuck the flash on your camera and then you ended up with something that just looks a bit overblown at the front and a bit dark at the back. We even have that problem in Australia where it's light at 5:30 on Christmas morning. I have backlit photos. So even summer Christmas can still end up with rubbish photos. So not that this photo is actually really gorgeous. And you know what? I'd be happy to scrapbook it as is. But if you want to take it to the next level, a great tool to use in Photoshop Elements is the quick mode. So if you're here today and you're like, I don't want to have to think about layers, I don't want to have to think about anything fancy, you can still get really great results with Photoshop Elements. So we go to the quick mode by clicking on the quick mode button up the top here. And then we can make some adjustments. I'm just going to move this little one out of the way. I don't know if you can actually, if you guys are seeing all the Zoom stuff, but hopefully you can see what we're doing here.
Yeah, I can see all of your like mouse movements and everything that's clicking and opening, so it's really great.
Okay, great. That's good. I've not presented on Zoom before, so it's always good to get some feedback. All right, so what we're going to do is going to use the Smart Fix, but so that you can see the results, we're going to click on this View button up the top here. We're going to choose Before and After Horizontal. So our before will be on our left and the after will be on our right. And so this part might be familiar to you if you've ever used RadLab, or a lot of different software does this look. But you just have to tell it to show you before and after. And then we're going to click on Smart Fix. And Smart Fix, well, it's basically Photoshop looks at your photo and decides what it thinks will make the photo look better. So let's just click Auto. If you do nothing else to your photo, just clicking on Smart Fix Auto will usually give it a boost. And you can see already that it has made quite a big change from the left to the right. And then we can always adjust lighting. And in this case, because we use the flash, the shadows are pretty harsh. So if you wanted to do a little bit more, you could always adjust those shadows. So what I'm doing now is I'm just in the lighting adjustment in quick mode. I'm just using my mouse to go over each of these thumbnails until I'm happy with how it looks. So I think that one looks great.
Melissa, Sue is asking if these controls are different than the ones under the Enhance tab in Expert mode. So do they work differently?
Yes. Oh, the Enhance menu? I'm not sure what she means about Expert mode.
Yeah, when you're
in
expert mode, there's like an Enhance tab, and she's wondering if these controls kind of work differently on your photos.
Well, we have layers, effects, filters, and styles. Let's have a look at what she's saying. Enhance tab is always there. I'm not actually totally sure what she means. So, because there's the Enhance menu, which has auto smart fix, auto tone, auto levels, which are the same. The Enhance menu, yes. Yes, that is the same. It's just less visual. So if we go back to quick mode, yeah. So at the top, there's menus and it has auto smart fix, auto tone, contrast levels. They're basically the same. So auto color correction is the same as this color correction and then auto. Yeah. So it's basically the same. It's just less visual. And to be honest, I very rarely use the Enhance menu because it's just easier to tab over to quick mode and then do some quick changes. So now when we're finished editing our photo in the quick mode, we can do the same as I said before. And even I would suggest doing it straight away. You just click File, Save As, and then click and Photoshop document. And there we've gone from quite a dull photo to a nice light, bright photo. And with all of us viewing our photos on our phones and computer screens, we're used to much brighter photos. And so you'll find even if you just bump up your brightness on your photos before you print them, you usually get a better result. So this is one of the most common things that we find with photos. They're a bit too dark, or even when we print them, they're too dark as well. Now I'm going to show you our next quick edit, which is a classic, which is our red eye. Did anyone have questions on what we've done so far? Just pop them in the comments and I can answer them. Now, with common issues like that Adobe knows about, they have created built-in tools to deal with them in the expert mode in Photoshop Elements. And then what happened was the expert mode, which was the only mode, it got to have so many tools that some beginners found it a little bit overwhelming, and that's when they created the quick mode. So that's why some things are available in one mode and not another. We're looking at this photo here of Phil and Emily, and they obviously have red eyes. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see clearly. And then we are going to use, again, quick mode because we have this built-in tool. And we also have it in the expert mode as well. And it's called the eye tool. So if we just click the eye tool, click the eyes that we want to change, there we go. They are fixed. You don't even need to click and drag. it'll just fix them for you. We also have another new tool in Photoshop Elements which actually opens closed eyes. So if you are like me and you have people in your life who often have their eyes closed in photos, you're going to absolutely love this tool.
My husband is famous for that. He's a fast blinker, so he's always got his eyes closed.
Yes, my mum is the same, yeah. Ah, well, I thought I had it prepared, but I will just quickly grab one. Now, if you have if you're here today and you'd like me to do a specific edit, feel free to pop that in. I will just quickly say, I'll just have a quick glance. If I cannot find one quickly, we might have to do this demo for you. I'll do a YouTube video. Oh, here's one. We're right. We have this cute family photo of us from Christmas. And yes, this is how hot it is on Christmas in Australia. It's like I was wearing a knee-length dress and I was still warm. So we've got Matthew here and his eyes are closed. Lucy's her whole head is blurry. So I would probably not use this photo, but for the demo, let's look at Matthew's eyes here. We'll click open closed eyes. Hopefully it'll spot his eyes. All right, so it's highlighted some faces here. Zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to select Matthew, and then we can actually choose sample eyes, which some look better than others. Those original blue eyes weren't too bad for him, but we won't use the sample eyes. We're actually going to use from the computer here. Real life with a 3-year-old taking a family photo. Some of them, I don't know if you can see, he's like flopping on the ground. Here's one, I think. There we go. And here we go. His eyes are slightly more open here. There we go. So let's see. Before, oh, they're not even much different. Let's see. Let's pull another one in. There we go. Pull another one in.
How this would be so perfect for that big family get together when you have like 15 people in the picture and 2 of them have their eyes closed in every single shot, but it's different 2 people in every one.
Yes, exactly. And even there's even a guided edit for group photos like that will probably be even more perfect.
And if you're putting the right person's eyes onto it, like if it's already their eyes just from a different shot, I don't consider that like cheating at all.
No. So here we go. I found a better photo of Matthew. So before, his eyes are slits. After, his eyes are open. So let's see. Before, after. So that is really handy because for me, obviously I've got 4 children. If you've ever tried to take photos with children, finding a way for all of them to have their eyes open in the photo and smiling and looking at the camera is very difficult. Look, here's another good example of me. There's my eyes. Look a bit sleepy in that one. So that just gives you an idea. So I'm using Photoshop Elements 2019 and the eye fixing or eye-opening feature has been available for the last 2 versions. And I'll just show you in guided edit, we have the photo merge group photo. So if you have any recent version of Photoshop Elements, any that look similar, so like the grey color scheme, that will have your photo merges. Here we go. Can we get it? Yeah. That will have a photo merge option, which allows you to create those group shots. So even if your version doesn't have the eye replacement, it will have the photo merge group shot either in the guided edit or under one of the menus. In previous versions, I think they've actually now removed it. But if you've got anything from about version 13 onwards, you will have the ability to swap faces and things, which often you will want to do because sometimes, you know, the eyes don't perfectly line up. So one question I get so often with photo editing is, can you remove something from the background for me? And I offer, you know, I can, if you want to spend an hour on a photo editing, then you can remove almost anything from the photo. Here's an example of one photo that I got sent. This one, oh, I can't remember the lady who sent this to me. Apologies. So she took this photo of her husband, and this background was quite cluttered, but she said, hey, can we remove this person from the photo? And guess what? You can. You can remove the person. Where did that go? There we go. You can remove them, as I've done here. I've managed to clone and create cushions that weren't there. I redid the background. But you know what? I wouldn't really do that in real life because that probably took me 20 or 30 minutes and I was doing it as an exercise, you know, stretching my own skills. But if you want to get rid of this person in the photo, this is what I recommend you do. You go and you grab your crop tool, which is available in your quick or your expert mode. And you just click the crop button. Photoshop Elements will even suggest a crop, but you can, you know, take that or leave it. You can just draw a crop and make it a vertical photo because now that person is gone.
I like that. That's a good cheat.
Yes, so for sure. So can you remove anything from the background? You can, but it might take time. And I've got a great tutorial on the site of using the clone stamp tool, but I'm going to just show you another quick fix for how you can do that. Okay, that was not.
I see a lot of comments that say, oh yes, that's my way. I crop everything. Me too. Crop them out.
For sure. I don't know what I did with my photo prep, but apparently I didn't put them all in the same folder that I thought I did. Fix grandchildren. No worries. It's a good thing I've got my photo library organized because apparently my prep last night wasn't as good as I first thought.
So Melissa, Maribeth is asking, where would we find your more detailed videos?
Okay, so the best place to go is DigiScrapHQ/learn, and that has a visual index to all my tutorials. And now if you have a specific thing you want to do, you can just type it in the search bar and find that.
Excellent, thank you.
So, okay, here we go. All right. Here we go. Here's a good example. Now, I talked before about autofix. So this is an example of where I'm going to do some autofix, then I'm going to quickly clean up the floor a bit. So we're going to go to our quick mode and our smart fix, click auto. Ooh, and it actually hasn't made that much of a difference. So I want to brighten up this whole photo. So I'm going to click auto levels. And adjust the color. So sometimes you find, as I just did there, that Smart Fix doesn't always work perfectly. So sometimes you can play around. Don't play around. Well, you know, that could be an interesting effect.
Artistic.
Yes, artistic. So in this example, this isn't the perfect example that I had prepped for you last night, but apparently, you know, we just go with it. So example of things that you can easily remove from a background. So here we have a carpet, which is, you know, covered in Christmas wrapping paper, etc. So if I wanted to remove some items from this background or the carpet, I could definitely do that just using our spot healing tool. I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to increase the size of the brush. You can do that with the slider down there. I'm just going to brush over, you know, wrapping paper. And then you go over it multiple times until it looks good. Now, the secret to using the healing brush tool is you want your brush to be around the size of your item, so you're not using too many strokes. Now, if you have a bigger item you want to remove, you can try it with the healing brush. Like I'll do this big piece of wrapping paper here. Yeah, that actually didn't work too badly, but you can go over it again. And every time you go over it again, Photoshop Elements is learning from what's now there. So once I remove the item from the carpet, it's looking at the carpet all around and using that to replace. Now, the other way you can do a large area is over in the expert mode. You can just use your selection tool, like the quick select, which I love to use because it makes it very easy to select things. I'll just I'm zooming in here so it's nice and big for you to see on your screen. And I'm just going to choose this Christmas stocking here, this bit of wrapping paper. I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to go to Edit, Fill Selection, Content Aware Fill. Now that's done pretty well, but it's left us with a little shadow. So you can either repeat that action, which is Edit, Fill Selection, and then you use Content Aware Fill. Or you can just remove your selection by pressing Command D or Select, Deselect to get rid of those lines. And then you can just use, again, my favorite, which is the healing brush to just get rid of that. And then you can just, you know, tidy it up. So if you have a photograph with, you know, you've got grass and you've got like a random piece of rubbish, you've got a sky with a power line, you've got that kind of high contrast item that is distracting in the background, it's pretty easy to do. So if I just show you the original, we can see how far we've come. Oops. Always making sure I'm saving my copies. And then we'll go back to our original. And you can see that it's made quite a difference. No, we've removed that and it does look quite realistic. So, yeah, Yes. So if you had any more questions on that, just let me know. So with objects or people in your background of your photo that you might want to really get rid of, you can't just crop it out. It's too difficult to just do that whole healing brush tool. You can use the scene cleaner. In the guided edits, it works as, I'll just try and do a demo here. With the guided edit, it works as its own tutorial. So depending on what version of Photoshop Elements you might have slightly different ones. But you can see here, it asks you to draw and erase. And that is not really a basic edit, but it is still quite easy. So if you are interested in that, I have got a tutorial. I'll have to actually look up where that one is because I don't know that I've got it as a separate video tutorial on the site. But that is best suited to things like if you're, in Paris and in front of the Eiffel Tower and you've got people standing in different spots, they're walking past, they're posing for photos. If you have 4 or 5 photographs, yes, sweetie, that's fine, out. Oh, sorry, I was muted. If you've got the, if you have got 4 or 5 photos of you in a certain location, you can use the scene cleaner to clean that up. So basically, your favorite tools for doing basic photos in Photoshop Elements are going to be your Smart Fix to make the colors pop and get your photo that looks too light or too dark to look better. You're going to love your crop tool, as all of you ladies have already discovered, and you're going to love the eye tool and your spot healing tool. Now, there are so many more edits, so I'd love to take some time for you guys to ask me questions or, talk about photo problems that you have and how we could work with those. I love Christy. Yes, I wish I could clean my house like that too. So while we're waiting for questions, I do have one more that I'd love to show you. And this edit is part of the expert mode, and there is this magical tool called the Smart Brush tool. So here we have a nice tropical overcast beach photo. And for me, this is totally unfamiliar. Our beaches in Perth have white sand, blue water and blue skies. And in Queensland, we have golden sand, green water and grey sky because it was in their dry season. Still lots of clouds. So if I want to fix that sky and make it look blue, because honestly, it looks a bit drab here. I'm going to start with my quick mode. I'm going to do my Smart Fix as I always do, just to brighten up the photo a little. Head over to my expert mode and use my magical Smart Brush. We have all kinds of options here. We've got fixing of people's faces. We've got all kinds of things. You can brighten eyes, go to town, make lips red, make teeth white. But one I most commonly use is make the dull skies blue, because I do go to Queensland a lot and it didn't feel this gloomy in real life. So all I need to do is paint over the sky area with this Smart Brush. You can probably maybe already see it.
Oh.
I'm just going to remove this little branch here. And there we go. Done. And then they also have intensify foliage. So let's give that a try for over here. And you can even go to town and adjust that layer manually if you want to get fancy. So here we've got our photo. I'll show you this is the after and before. That's interesting.
So Melissa, is this the kind of thing you could do to kind of make, you know how you love to take a sunset photo, right? A sunset photo is so great, but you look at the photo and you're like, that's not what my eyes saw. My eyes saw like all these colors and brightness.
Yes.
And you look at a sunset and you're like, that's not what it was. It was so much better than that.
Yes, for sure. I mean, this one actually is not too bad. This is just a quick sunset to show you. And sometimes, you know, if I try to auto fix that, no, that's not really the look I'm going for, because what it's trying to do is put more detail, whereas in a sunset photo, often you do want that silhouette. So that's where you could use that. So what you would do is you could grab your blue sky, pull that over there, and this one, of course, we have gum trees that are like a little bit difficult. Let's include the whole tree, because I don't want to be going into every branch here. So I'm just going to include the whole tree. So what I'm doing here, just to let you know, is I'm just clicking and dragging over the area that I want. If I want to remove any area, I can click the subtract. So there you go. You can see before and after.
Wow.
So I'll just press enter. Now, one warning I will give you with the Smart Brush is that it was just giving me a warning before about flattening the file. So this is where all your layers are compressed down onto the one final layer. So instead of having multiple layers of different edits that you've made, you just end up with one flat layer, well, one single layer. So that's another reason why I say always save as, because you never know when you actually want to go back to your original, and you don't, you know, I've done it so many times, guys. I've saved over my originals, you know, so just do yourself a favor. As soon as you open it, save it as a Photoshop document. So here we go. Here's our sunset before, and then there's our sunset after, and it does look a lot more dramatic. And you can do that in all kinds of ways, but you know, let's keep it easy with our blue sky tool.
Jody's asking what you might do to lighten one side of an older underexposed photo.
Okay, so you've got a photograph where one part is dark and the other part is light. So if you've got a traditional film photo, I'm imagining, where you've got the light has kind of crept in on one side. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't have an exact film version, but this is probably a similar idea. We've got a shadow over one part. So here's Emily and Edward in the pram that was not a double pram, but Emily worked out a way to make she could sit in there. So this was my view going for a walk. So you can't see Emily's face too well. So if you have a situation like that, what you want to do is use the levels tool. So I'm going to practice what I preach. I'm going to save this photograph as a Photoshop document. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this background layer. So I'm going to right mouse button, click on it. Oh, and then I'm going to click layer, duplicate layer. So you can do that from the right mouse button, or you can do it from the layer menu. And if you don't have the layers panel showing, just click the layers button at the bottom of your screen. And now I'm going to do the magic here with the levels. Now I'm going to just concentrate on Emily here when we're adjusting levels. So we'll go to this button, which is layer, adjustments, and levels. You can also get to that from layer, new adjustment, layer, levels in the menu. What we're going to do here is we're going to move the grey slider. So if you're adjusting your photo, if it's too dark, use your grey slider and slide it towards the black end. You can see there's a black end and a white end. And if your photo is too bright, you slide it towards a white end, basically. That's a quick fix. So I'm just looking at Emily's face, and yeah, that looks better. I still may even adjust it more, but let's keep it simple for now. And then what I'm going to do is hide part of this layer. I'm going to just use my quick selection tool, which I love. I mentioned it before. I'm going to select Emily here. And then I'm going to click Add Layer Mask to make this layer just about her. Now, all I have to do is select these two layers and press, actually no, that's changed. Okay, so I will show you the way that will work in all versions of Photoshop Elements. They've just recently changed their keyboard shortcuts. So we'll click on this adjustment layer, then we'll go to layer, and then we'll do create clipping mask. So that means that this adjustment of the levels applies only to that area that you can see in white. I'll just make it a bit bigger for you so you can see it more clearly. Still pretty small, but you can see here there's a mask. So only these adjustments only apply to the white area. So now I'll just show you before, after. So you could get more fancy with that. You could use, if you had a film photograph where the whole thing is like one edge is underexposed and the other edge is not, you could definitely do that using a gradient fill, but you know, that's getting a bit more fancy. But I hope that helps. Does that sound like you know, I've got the right end of the stick there?
Yeah, that was really neat, the way that, you know, you kind of put the two parts together. When you showed that, it was like, oh. So is that how people do like the fancy things when they have like a photo that they make everything black and white, but then they have like a pink t-shirt or, you know, a pink flower or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. So you can do that with masks. You can actually also do that with some of the tools in Photoshop Elements. So if you're thinking about something that's really fashionable to do, probably there's a guided edit for it. Remove. I just have to actually find it. There we go. Black and white selection. Here we go. So let's try that Alice was mentioning. We've got a photograph here. I'll just choose this one. We'll click black and white selection. We've got Jackie's cute family here. And we're going to just simply follow this guided edit. So it tells us, click on the black and white selection brush and start brushing on the black and white effect. So let's, you know, make the background black and white here, although I guess it wasn't a perfect example because the carpet was kind of already grey. gives you the idea. Or we could even make some members of the family black and white, just for the purposes of the demonstration. We can just have grandma and baby in colour and everyone else in black and white. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And we can do some more editing, but I think it actually has done a really good job of the selection here. So you can also, change it to the opposite. And go next. And that is done. So whenever you do a guided edit, at the end, it prompts you to save, which is great. Because, we all need those reminders to save. And then we can continue editing in quick or in expert mode. And as Alice was just saying before, what the guided edit has done for us is it's actually created that mask for us without us having to remember which button to click. So I do like that.
That was so cool. Thank you so much, Melissa. This was awesome. I don't see any new questions that are like, oh, and how do you do this? So I think it's good. Would you like to tell us about anything that you have, like classes that you have going on right now, or any specials or anything like that? If you want to close your screen there, or if you want to show us something that's on there, that's fine too. So.
Sure. I will show you. So one I wanted to just touch on quickly is just reiterate why I love Photoshop Elements so much. It beats your phone apps because you know that you're not damaging your photo, you're not getting a smaller version, you are in control of where those photos are. I love that. It's a one-off cost and it has the creative tools and the photo management in one. And of course, you've got support from Adobe and people like me and other websites that support Photoshop Elements. So I really love it. Depending on where you are in the world, it's between $100 and $150 and you can use it. It doesn't matter, I've got versions dating back to 10 years ago, which will still run perfectly well, and I'm not paying a monthly fee. So I definitely love that. So one thing I wanted to let you know is I am running a special on photo editing for absolute beginners. And that covers some of the things we didn't talk about today. How to add text to your photos, how to save them as a high quality JPEG for printing, and how to actually print them at home or upload them online to an online printing service. So if that sounds like something you would love, you now know how to make your photos look brighter and happier. You will love photo editing for absolute beginners. So that is on special now for $12. I'm selling that one at rock bottom price because I think it will be really helpful to a lot of people and I want to make sure that it's affordable for you. So if you head to digiscraphq.com/PEAB, you will see that special price, which will be running until the end of next week. So if you haven't already got that, and I know some of you here have, if you haven't already got that, that is a perfect class for the next step. Now, if you think you need some more hands-on help, I actually offer one-on-one coaching sessions, which I will help you with your programs, whatever software you're using. I actually have a really great system where you can allow me to control your computer so that I can help you literally move files, find, whatever problems you're having. And that is one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love it. I've had so much good feedback from that. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, that's digiscraphq.com/one-on-one, and I will link up. I'll send Alice the links to those as well.
I'll have them all on the replay page.
Awesome. Thanks, Alice. Yeah, and that's really great because I find with a lot of people, they've got a photo mess, they've got, they've changed from Android to Apple, or they've got a new computer and they just need some help. And usually in this 45 minutes, we can actually get a lot of stuff done. I actually helped Sue get rid of about 6 gigabytes of duplicate photos. It was amazing. Yeah, that was a really fun time. Not everyone thinks it fun, but that's why I do. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks, Alice, for having me. If you're interested in some notes on today's webinar, I've done a one-page summary of the steps I've used to fix clean up photos, fix red eyes, whiten teeth, fix grey skies, and you can grab that at digiscraphq.com/Jan19. And all you need to do after that is download a free trial of Photoshop Elements and fix those photos. So yeah, thank you so much, Alice, for having me. It's been fun.
Excellent. Thank you so much. While we're here, let's have a look here. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that took time to be here today. And if you are not a ScrapHappy member, then you probably haven't heard about Load. And Load is a big thing that the ScrapHappy membership does. However, we open it up to other people to join us. So every year in February and May, we have big challenges. We also do it members only in October, but we have big challenges, and it's a month-long challenge called Load, which is the Layout a Day challenge. And our next one is coming up February 1st is when we start, technically the night before the prompt even goes out. So every day during the month of February, we are going to be scrapbooking inspired by the Wizard of Oz. And this year is actually the 80th anniversary of the Wizard of Oz. So it was the perfect time to do a ruby red scissors inspired Load challenge. Every day there's a prompt. One of them, there's actually 2 prompts every day. One is story based and one is kind of technique-y, product based to get you excited about that. And we all share our layouts in a private Flickr gallery, so you get to see how everybody else used the prompt. The whole goal of Load is to scrapbook a layout a day, so you don't have to use a prompt. It's not like you're stuck like, I have to make this page about courage and I have no idea what I'm going to do. It's not like that. You can literally scrapbook anything you want, and at the end of the month, if you have done every single day of scrapbooking, there's a small finisher's prize that will come to you. It's really fun. So you can check that out on the ScrapHappy site at scraphappy.org. It's in the menu bar, or else you can go directly to scraphappy.org/ScrapSmarter, and I'll include links for this too. So just wanted to let you know about that because it's going to be amazing. The Wizard of Oz is super fun, and it just comes with so many good ideas for doing your layouts. So I'm looking forward to that. So I just wanted to say one more time, Melissa, thank you so much for being with us here today. This was super good. I know I'm really excited because I'm a new Photoshop Elements user and I can't wait to get started. If you thought this was good, wait until next month. Melissa will be back in February, and we are going to be diving into some digital scrapbooking using the Photoshop Elements. So watch for that. The date will be released soon. It will be posted on that same ScrapSmarter website. So at scraphappy.org/ScrapSmarter, that's where you're going to find the replay for this. It's available for at least 1 week. Maybe we'll keep it a little bit longer so that people get a chance to check it out as we head into next month. ScrapHappy members will have access to this forever. So you're always welcome to come and join us at ScrapHappy too. So Melissa says, thanks everyone. And everyone else is saying, yay. Claire said, anything Oz suits me. And Leslie says, yay. Sue said, Melissa is awesome. Big smiley face. So thank you so much for being here. And I hope that this session will lead you to scrap smarter. And I hope you have some happy scrapping. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.